Thank you, everyone. Welcome back from the break. Thanks for respecting our ground rules and coming back on time. I really appreciate it. So let's review. Before the break, what we did is we did a nice introduction, and we introduced the 10 facilitation principles. Right now we're going to focus on information gathering, which is principle number 5. Principle number 5, know your tools and how to use them. And we're going to start in what I believe is the most important technique you're going to learn in this course, and that is what we call the secret of the starting question. Now let's just draw up a little scenario here. Tanya, what town do you live in?
Brookline.
Brookline. Suppose the superintendent of schools came to you and said, we have a school system where we schedule our classes manually, and we want to change it. We want to develop a system where those schedule of classes are automated. So we know that we need inputs, we need to process those inputs, and outputs. So we're going to use this questioning technique to get that information that we need. Okay? Tanya, would you read question type A up here?
The first thing we want to talk about are inputs. What are the inputs to the scheduling process?
Great, thank you. Let me give you a dot for your participation. And Jim, could you read question type B? It's right up here.
If you are about to develop the school schedule, what is the information you would need to have close by?
Great. Type A and type B, 2 different ways of asking the starting question. We're going to dive in to see what's better, the type A or the type B question. Let's start with looking at the strengths. Let's look at the strengths of type A. Tanya, could you tell me, what was something good about the type A question?
It's specific.
It's specific. Great. It's specific. And how do you know that it's specific? What word tells you that it's specific?
The word inputs.
The word inputs, right. Word inputs. Right here. Okay. Is there anything else? What's another strength of type A?
It's direct.
It's direct. Good, it's direct. And how do you know it's direct? What word tells us that it's direct?
The word what?
The word what. Terrific. Anything else?
The word first.
The word first. And what does the word first tell us? It tells us that there are other things, that we'll be listing other things. Okay. Any other strengths of this? No. Okay. So let's go on and talk about the strengths of the type B question. So Tanya, can you tell me what would be a strength of type B?
Their language.
Their language. How do you know it's their language? What word tells you that?
The word information.
The word information. Okay. Anything else? What else is a strength?
It's personal.
It's personal. Very good. And how do we know it's personal? What word tells us it's personal?
The word you.
The word you. Right. And anything else?
The word if.
The word if. Okay. The word if. And that tells us that there's some imagining going on. So here are the strengths of the type A. It's specific, it's direct, and we know that because of the word what, and we know that there's some other things because of the word first, first of many. And some strengths of the type B, we know it's their language. If you were about to, and it's their information, it's personal, as I said, you, and imagining, the word if. Terrific. Thank you again. Let me give you another dot for all your participation. That's terrific. So let's turn to your workbook. It's great. And under where it says type A, or right next to where it says type A, would you write the word default? Thank you. The reason why we say that's default is if you hadn't prepared your questions ahead of time, you would automatically default to asking a type A question. And under type B, would you write the word image? Image of the answers? Great, because with type B, once you work to formulate that type B question, you will have an image of the answer. Now let me describe this a little bit for you. Would you close your eyes for me just for a minute, and I promise I'll stay up here in the front of the room. I'm going to read to you, with your eyes closed, the type A question. The first thing we want to talk about are inputs. What are the inputs to the scheduling process? Okay, you can open your eyes now. What, did you come up with a great image? Did you see all the, or can you think? No answers. You know what you're doing right now? You're trying to create the image. You're spending an extra minute creating the image because I didn't create the image for you. Let's move on to type B. Close your eyes again, and I'm going to read you the type B. If you were about to develop the school schedule, what is the information you would need to have close by? Okay, open your eyes. Did you? Yes, you did. You did. I know you already know the answer to the question. Did you see an image? Can you just quickly now, you just know that you're going to be able to write a list of the things that you saw close by. That's the beginning of creating your list. Now let me point out something to you. In your workbook, on those blue pages, turn to the blue pages right now real quickly. I just want to point out that you have a valuable tool that comes with the workbook. In there, it teaches you how to do or how to create and gives you samples of all of the type B questions for all the scenarios of what you might be facilitating. Okay, it's terrific. Okay, let's go on. Would you turn the page in your workbook? Let's flip on the other side. And we're going to do a little bit more practicing with asking a great starting question, because this is the secret, as you said, the secret of the great starting question. We really want to make sure that you understand this and you have it down pat. So let's talk about the technique. There's actually 3 steps to the technique. First, you're going to start with that image building phrase, a type B question. Then we're going to extend the image and so that you can see the answers. So we're going to start with a type B question, extend it, and then, most people are surprised at this part, but actually we're going to follow up with a direct question. And that's where we're going to start listing the information that we're trying to gather. Okay, so there's 3 steps. We're going to start with an image building phrase, extend the image, and follow up with a type A. For example, I'm going to put an example up here. If we were to just do a type A, again, we just simply without preparation, if we were in front of a group facilitating, we might say, we want to talk about vacations. What do you like to do on vacation? Well, people would sit back, right, and start thinking. What they have to do is create that visual of their vacation. But you can shortcut it there. You can start off with a type B question. Think about the vacation you've been on when you've had the most fun. Think about the things you were doing, you enjoyed, or really thrilled you. Then let's build the list. What do you like to do on vacation? Did you hear the 3 steps there? We started with the image building, the think about the vacation. Then we extended it. We told them to think about the things you were doing and enjoyed. We extended it. And then we followed up with a direct type A question to start our listing, to start our information gathering. Okay, let's turn to the bottom of that workbook page right there. And you'll see, Tanya, would you read that first example?
Steps in the current hiring process.
Okay, so suppose we were asked to facilitate, and one of the questions was to gather the information of the steps to the hiring process. What would a good type A question be? Type A. Tanya?
What are the steps in the current hiring process?
Exactly. There's that word what. What are the steps? That's a good type A question. What's the second example?
Problems with the current hiring process?
Problems with the current hiring process. What would be a good type A question for that?
What are the problems with the current hiring
What
process?
are the problems? That's great. Thank you very much. So when do you use a starting question? When do you use it? The beginning of a facilitation session, of course. But you know what? You also use a good starting question for every agenda item in your whole meeting. A good starting question to get people to think, people to be creative. Every agenda item in the beginning of every session. Okay? Any questions? Great, thanks. Okay, so we talked about the blue pages. It's really important that when you're creating your starting questions that you plan them ahead of time, because if you don't plan, you'll come up with a type A question. Okay, let's do one more checkpoint. So what we've done is we've focused in on one of the 10 principles of facilitation, and that is information gathering. We're going to take a break right now and come back and we're going to talk about reacting questions. Thank you.